Hi, I'm Giles. So, you want to know how my world works? Ha, it's simple, and it ain't. The priest says it's God's own ladder. 3 rungs. The ones who fight, the ones who pray, and, well, and us. The ones who work. And I can tell you, this bottom rung is a hard, splintery thing to cling to. Up there, that's the first sort. The nobility. My lord, his lordship the baron, and all his knights. They're the fighters. They're meant to protect us from, well, from other lords and their knights, mostly. It's a bit like you hiring a guard to protect your house, but the guard owns your house, your tools, your children, and you. And you have to pay him for the privilege by working his garden for free 3 days a week. Their life, oh, it's a different world. They wake up, they pray a bit, not like us, mind you, but a quick word to God before the real business begins. The Lord, he's like the CEO of a massive company. He's in meetings all day with his stewards, signing papers that decide if my neighbor has to give up another pig for taxes. And the food. By the saints, the smell that comes from that castle kitchen when they have a feast. We're down here chewing on black bread so hard it could break a tooth and dunking it in pottage that's a watery stew of whatever we can pull from the ground. Think of it like eating watery oatmeal every day. Meanwhile, they're feasting on swan and deer, covered in spices from lands I can't even imagine. It's like they're eating at one of your fancy restaurants with a famous chef every single night, and we're lucky to find a turnip that isn't rotten. It's enough to make your stomach ache with pure, gut-twisting envy. And their clothes. Velvet and silk, trimmed with fur. There are even laws, sumptuary laws, the priest calls them. Rules that say a man like me can't wear certain colors or fabrics. It's God's will, they say, that you can tell a man's worth by his coat. It's like a uniform for your whole life, one you can never take off. Meant to keep us from getting any bright ideas about who we are. It makes my blood boil, sometimes, to see a young knight in a tunic that costs more than my family will see in 10 years of harvests. Then you have the second sort, the clergy, the ones who pray. Now, this one's complicated. There's 2 kinds, see? There's our priest, Father John. He's all right, a bit too fond of the ale, but his Latin is good enough to get a soul to heaven, I suppose. He's like a local branch manager. He's part of our village. He hears our confessions. He buries our dead. But then there are the others, the bishops, the abbots, the ones who ride in fine carriages. They live like lords. They've got vast lands, more than even our baron. And how do they get it? From us. We have to give a tithe 1/10 of everything we grow, every chick that hatches, every lamb that's born. 1 sack of grain in 10 goes straight to the church. It's like a tax, you see, but it's not for God, they say. But I see the bishop's fat belly and his gold rings, and I wonder how much of my sweat God really needs. It's a bitter pill to swallow, knowing your family's hunger is paying for a bishop's new stained glass window. It feels like a holy theft, and you can't even complain or you risk your immortal soul. And then there's us. The third sort, the peasantry, the ones who work. Ha, the ones who work? That's a gentle way of putting it. We peasants are the foundation of it all. We are the dirt that everything else grows in. My day starts before the sun and ends when my back is a single knot of fire. We work the Lord's land for free. Then, on the other days, we work our own little strips of earth to feed our families. And we can't leave. Do you understand? I was born on this manor, and I'll die on this manor. I am tied to this land like a goat to a post. If the baron sells this land, he sells me and my family with it. We are property, same as the oxen. The lack of freedom, it's a chain you can't see, but you feel it every single morning, heavy on your soul. But the world is getting stranger. The priest's ladder is missing a few rungs, I think. You go into town, and you see new sorts of folk. There are the townsfolk, the merchants, and the craftsmen. They live a different life. They work for coin, not for a lord. They form their own little clubs. They call them guilds. It's like a union, I hear. They protect each other. A strange power, one that doesn't come from a sword or a prayer book. It comes from gold. But even in the towns, there's another sort. A 4th sort, maybe. They don't fit anywhere else. The Jewish folk. They live together, on their own street usually. It's not a prison for them. They can come and go, but they keep to themselves. It's like a whole separate village, with its own mayor and laws, plopped right in the middle of our town. They answer to the king or the baron, but amongst themselves they follow their own rules, from their own holy book. It's a puzzle, I tell you. But they can't own land. Can you imagine? For a man like me, land is everything. It's my food, my home, my prison. For them, it's forbidden. So they do other things. Many are merchants, others are moneylenders. It's a job no good Christian is supposed to do. The priest says it's a sin to charge interest. But everyone, even the lords and the bishops, needs coin sometimes. It's like they're the only ones allowed to run the bank, and everyone hates the banker until they need a loan. It makes folk resent them something fierce. They have rules about food. Won't touch a bit of pork, not even the finest bacon. Their women prepare food in special ways, and they wear different clothes. Sometimes, the Lord makes them wear a special hat or a patch of cloth, so everyone knows who they are. It's not a mark of pride, like a knight's colours. It's a mark to keep them separate, to point a finger. And here's the strangest thing of all. Their boys learn to read. Not just priests, not nobles, but common boys who live on a crowded street. They learn the letters of their holy book from the time they can walk. Imagine that. A man who works with his hands but can read the ancient words. What a power that must be. They're women too. I hear they can run businesses, own their own money, not like my wife, who is as much the Lord's property as I am, but it's a heavy life they lead, always looking over their shoulder. When things go wrong, the crops fail, a plague comes, people need someone to blame. Unfortunately, it's always easier to blame the ones who are different, the ones who pray to a different God and eat different food. I've heard terrible stories of mobs and fire. It's a fear I understand in my bones, being powerless. But their danger, it feels sharper, colder. So there you have it. The lords in their castles, the priests with their hands in our pockets, us down here in the mud, the town folk with their coin and their guilds, and the Jewish folk living on a knife's edge in the middle of it all. They say it is God's will. Maybe it is. But some nights, when the rain is leaking through the thatch and my children are coughing in their sleep, I can't help but wonder if God's ladder wasn't built just a little bit crooked. Now, if you'll excuse me, the sun will be down soon and this field won't plough itself. Not for me anyway, for His Lordship. Always for His Lordship.